All right, Rapid Fire Wednesday with the Gresh man talking Patriots and Panthers. On paper, is Carolina a worthy opponent? Because they looked like dogs against New Orleans last week.
Well, they're the Great American Scream Machine. At first, they beat San Francisco, then they then they beat the Bills and eke it out in a 9-3 win, and then they get rolled by the New Orleans Saints. So you're wondering, what the hell is this team? They are a worthy opponent, Yanni, because they're physical, they can run the ball, and they've got a quarterback who is difficult to deal with.
You mentioned Cam Newton. We saw Deshaun Watson cause problems for the Patriots last week, his elusiveness, and Bill Belichick today saying he's public enemy number one. What are you worried about with Cam Newton?
Well, I'm worried about his ability to extend plays, but his ability to drive the ball down the field is as good as anybody in this league. And the Patriots have had some breaks defensively. Some guys have gotten behind corners and safeties. And the one thing about Cam Newton is if he needs to throw it on a line, he can do it from pretty much any position. He doesn't have to have his feet set. So I'm worried about Cam Newton extending some plays, but more importantly, driving the ball down the field off of that. He's an elite deep ball thrower.
The Patriots getting pretty healthy. Rex Burkhead, the only player not spotted at practice today. With all these guys back in the mix, presumably Hightower on Sunday, are we kind of counting their blessings at this point, or is the injury bug going to continue throughout the year?
Look, I think this is what it is. This is the National Football League, and guys are going to get hurt, and you got to find different ways to deploy your personnel to be able to just do enough to get a win. I worry about the overall talent on this defense, including the linebacking core. I just don't know if they've got enough guys in the middle of the defense for them to be able to make it through the season. So really, it's survive and advance right now. But I'm not expecting this Patriots defense to be the kind of defense we expect to see until later in the year, if at all.
The back end, I thought the cornerbacks, Stephon Gilmore and Malcolm Butler, played better last week. Do you think each of them is coming into their own at this point?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's matchup dependent. There's no question. You're going to deal with a Kelvin Benjamin who's a little bit bigger than the normal average wide receiver. But at the end of the day, those guys can play. And I think that when you put them in one-on-one situations, they can win those kinds of battles. You got to trust them to be able to do it. I don't think Gilmore is as good in zone as he is in man. And we know Butler is a dog chasing cars. And then however they mix in the rest, you know, the bloom is off the star of Jonathan Jones a little bit. Eric Rowe's been dinged up. I think Butler, Gilmore, they're going to be okay. Everybody else, mix and match, we'll see.
Tom Brady, AFC Player of the Week for the second week in a row. Is he en route to another MVP?
Yeah, he's going to be there, Yanni. He'll have numbers at the end of the year to where if people want to give him the MVP, they can. I think 40 will work for him in MVP voting, but I think having Bill Belichick works against him in MVP voting. So, look, at the end of the year, I think we know we'll have 40 touchdowns from Brady. We'll see where the turnovers are at. He might have a 10-interception season, which when you think about it, 10 picks in 16 games is pretty damn good.
Lastly, there was a giant cutout face of yours yesterday at Alpine Country Club for a YMCA event. What was going on with that?
Well, they were coming up with an idea. See, when they invite people like you, they know that you're a bore, they know that you're humorless, and there's very little that they can do with someone like you because, well, you have your sterling reputation to be able to uphold. But with me, they can have some fun. So we did the throwing the footballs through the mouth and all that stuff. And, you know, you're great for emceeing stuff when it's, here's your sheet of paper, here we go, there we go. Yanni will make sure to stay within the lines.
Did you raise money for anything?
They're going to color outside the lines with me. No, it was for the kids, for crying out loud.
The Nerf balls were too light that we couldn't conceivably get it into, as big as your mouth was, we just couldn't get the ball in there.
Hey, Ed Cooley was doing a good job. I don't know what happened to you.
He tried, yeah, we didn't. All right, Gresh, thanks so much for coming in. We will see you tomorrow. Catch Andy Gresh every night, WPRO, 6 to 9 p.m.
And you're not humorless.